We start talking about group economics and generational wealth, and it's very apparent that people just have a very topographic idea of how these things work and don't really look into them to move forward, right? But here. So just to clear some things up, let's use Mike Lindell, whatever, the MyPillow guy, right? See, he started off his business in, you know that story at home, hand stitching, whatever, until he got to the point where the monies were moving and he wanted to upgrade, where he sold off 4 bars that his family owned and mortgaged his house. Now, in case you were wondering, Lindell is a Swedish last name, and these folks came here in 1923 in mass due to unrest going on in another country, but nobody was meeting them off the boats with whips and, from horseback. Not the point though. The thing is that in short, the Homestead Act is something that MLK came out and was putting white people on notice that we knew that they were giving these same immigrants who came over here with nothing free land. Now, when we say free land, we don't mean free. We mean that they had to rob the indigenous, enslave the indigenous, right. So then that way they had the land to use as a commodity and the resources on it so they could farm. And not only did they give them farming land, they gave them the equipment, they gave them money, kind of like they pay them farmers and not farm right now, right? So over the generations of owning monies, and then, by the way, 1923 land ownership among our people inside their areas, not very important. So when you fast forward, he has this money that he can just liquidate and then go to start off his business. Now, it doesn't take a great deal of money to start a business, but let's just use this rendition, right? If he had 4 bars and a house to sell off and a house to mortgage, what our people need to do in a group effort is have that same amount of capital to invest to open up that scale of a business. With this being said, if we can get however many people it takes, $100 from each family to invest, to make that money, to make that investment to be worth the $100 million he is today, that's fine. And over that case of time, those people who put in get the money, the profits. They share the profits. But that's a fantastic idea. Not everybody's going to have $100 million in a few years idea. So whatever resources come back, they come back as how great or small they are. But it gives us the opportunity to hire our own people. Landscaping, not so much in places where it's torrid almost year round and doesn't rain, right? It's not torrid, it's tropic. Everybody pays for the weather here in Los Angeles. But a landscaping company gets you a couple of lawnmowers, a couple of workers, some gas, a truck, the insurance, and then be able to pay wages and such, and then bid on contracts or doing from home to home to home. There's a tons of different things that we can do as a collective, so that way we can hire and employ our own instead of begging other people for the jobs that they don't even want to give us to begin with. Somebody was saying that, a naysayer who's tired of the trope of being business owners is that not everybody can be a business owner, and you're absolutely right. Because in the NBA, there's only one Michael Jordan, but there's a group of Hall of Famers. Right. But underneath that, there's a whole bunch of college kids that had the ambition and drive, but they just couldn't beat out the competition. And then below that, there's high school kids and there's kids that never seen organized sports, but hoops on the court that is nasty with it. Well, with that being said, if we see someone that needs the backing, the support, we should be investing in those Hall of Famers, grooming up those NCAA players, as well as the kids in high school and the ones who never even thought to themselves to open up my own business because no one believes in it. Somebody was arguing with us, telling that it's a lot of hard work and dedication, and it's like, yeah, no kidding. Those people who came over here and got all the free stuff, they actually put in the work too, though. They had to have the customer service, the interpersonal skills, the networking, the word of mouth, and such. They had to do the work, and there was sacrifice. But the thing is that those people were looking at the adverse situation that they were in and decided to make a change by moving here. We're here in just as bad as not worse situations that people are fleeing, and most Negroes don't even know it. And that's why this defeatist attitude of just go work for someone else. But if someone else isn't hiring our people here, affirmative action. Let's just say we're the same 20% they keep lying and telling everybody we are, right? A company has 100 slots. They have to hire 20 Negroes. Do you know who fills up those slots? Custodians and other dead-end positions, low paying. And then these people can't pay their bills to live off of the price points that they're being paid out. And that's why they start talking about this fair living wage, and people are like, oh no, don't do that. But then you want people to go to college, they can't afford it, they don't have the aptitude, they don't have the drive because they're not collegially minded, because they've been groomed to say, well, you know what, if you're a black male, chances are like 1 in 3 that you're going to be incarcerated before the time that you're 30 years old. You might be killed in the street by cops. It's really difficult to motivate our kids to do better playing through those hoops when they hear that the unemployment rate amongst black college graduates is higher than any other group. You see how this is cumulative and why being able to feed ourselves, and some idiot didn't understand that Mike Lindell had to make sacrifices. He had to give up working for other people to work for himself so he could hire people that look like him. And yeah, you'll see his warehouse is diverse as hell. But again, we bet you the higher ups. You know what I mean? Literally, most places we know where we've been in places. Matter of fact, we work for WorldCom. There was a whole bunch of people that looked like us in there. The most of them were immigrants. immigrants, Haitians, mainly and primarily. Actually, all the brothers that worked there that wasn't American descendants slaves were Haitians. Because they'll hire them over us because they have better dispositions according to mainstream media. Because again, we met a Jamaican woman who said that she could not date us because we were an American Negro. So it's not just outsiders and what they're putting out there. So when we start talking about DACA, we start talking about Dreamers, those are our people too. And y'all are worried about the people that speak Spanish taking our place. You should be worried about them folks too. Especially since y'all are always running your mouth on social media about all these divisiveness or whatever. Y'all was beefing over a track meet. Like really? No. A lot of it seemed, y'all look like, you know, when you go to sports events and you see white people acting up and fighting over teams that they don't own and stock in, or even bring it down to little league, little kid, Pop Warner, and then the white kids, the dads are fighting over something, whatever. That's what y'all look like. This is what you really look like amongst your own people. And then people talk about, well, those aren't really our people. You know what? That's a fantastic stance. Let's see how long that lasts. No, really, good luck. We're not gonna be here for it, but it's looking real bleak. Anywho, you should know the Joe by now. Like this, comment to add value. Send this to your people's, follow this account. Good talk. Glad we had it.
REX.